Martin Romualdez does not come out, kasi magsasalita si Martin, sasabihin niya kung sino at masasama yung anak niya, 'di ba?
I'll read to you. I'll read to you what Martin said, and then I want you to tell me, okay, what you think about his response.
Yeah, but
Because
that's
yeah,
why
go ahead.
that's why they want to silence the 18 Marines, hindi ba?
Yeah,
Kasi
yeah.
baka po sila masyado. That's why they don't want Zaldico to come home.
Yeah, yeah.
Kasi masyado silang mabubuko na talaga.
Jump into it na ha. So, ang una niyang na-mention, first of all muna, no? And what did you think about the whole SONA muna of BBM?
Oh, well, to me, it was a secretary's report. Parang hindi siya SONA, parang hindi presidente, hindi siya presidential. Hindi siya dapat na ang presidente ang nagsasabi ng mga ganong developments for the country at hindi mo iipunin muna ng 1 year bago mo sabihin lahat yung mga achievements, if there are any, 'di ba, na nagawa natin. And then second, hindi ka naman yata maniniwala dun sa mga sinasabi niya, especially the figures that he is talking about. Parang
Such
malabo,
as,
ha?
such as,
Such as the number of housing that he has built. Nakabuild raw siya ng 600,000, 500,000 initially, and then there's 100,000 more na additional. But if you talk to NHA, if you talk to the people who want to avail of the housing projects, wala naman silang makuha. Classrooms, how many classrooms do we have? I have here the figures.
yeah.
Classroom, 21,000 ang naitayo.
Yan ang claim niya.
21,000 from 2022 to 2026. Parang may mali. Parang sobrang kulang naman yung classroom na yan.
Hmm. Did he talk about it during the SONA?
Classrooms he mentioned, yes.
Yeah, he did. He mentioned it, no? Yeah. So basically, what I found kasi difficult, no? Parang the pinakamalaking hurdle kasi ni BBM coming up with that SONA and delivering it is the negative 27 trust rating of the Filipino people. And we didn't reach that point, no? I don't even know if dismal is the right word for it, diba? It's historically abysmally low, no? Wala tayong ganyan ever, no? So, hindi naman tayo umabot dyan na biglaan na overnight, pero 4 years, diba? So, ibig sabihin, wala na talagang naniniwala sa sinasabi niya kasi maraming beses nahuhuli siya na nagsisinungaling, 'di ba? Tapos this is the second to the last na SONA niya, 'di ba?
Alam mo, nahuhuli siya na nagsisinungaling ng taong bayan din kasi you go on the ground. Even my own driver would say wala namang ganyan kasi na-mention niya yung zero billing sa ospital. 3 weeks ago, I had to shell out money for my driver kasi na-hospital yung asawa niya. And the money that I shelled out for him is not a small sum. So, ibig sabihin, nasan yung zero billing na sinasabi ni BBM para sa mga public hospitals natin?
Parang incredible yung mga sinasabi kasi niya, 'di ba? So but let's start first, Ruth, para may ano tayo kasi I want to really know your opinion about this. He started with the most controversial topic, no, against him, corruption. And then he said that he was going to charges were going to be filed against his cousin, no? Hindi niya yata pinangalanan si Martin Romualdez, hindi ko alam sinabi niya yung pangalan. So anong tingin mo doon?
Hindi niya sinabi kasi ang sabi lang niya, hindi daw siya pangulo ng pamilya at hindi siya pangulo ng mga kaibigan niya.
Yeah.
So, he didn't mention Martin Romualdez there. Pero, he also said na nababawi na ang pera ng taong bayan, napupunta hindi na napupunta sa bulsa ng mga tiwali. Kung hindi, nakakuha na sila ng 58 billion pesos something, na isalba nila ang 58 billion something. Where it went, I don't know. Pero umpisahan muna natin. ano na ba nangyari doon sa investigation sa flood control, di ba? He was the one who announced it in the previous SONA. And he said that malawakang investigasyon ang ginagawa natin ngayon to find out who the culprit is. Merong mga nakakulong na legislators, of course, senators yung kanyang gustong sabihin, hindi niya lang sinabi, diniretsyong senators. Merong mga nakakulong na tiwaling government workers. So sino tong mga to? Are these the big fish? Ito ba yung talagang lumaki ng lumaki? Ito ba yung mga perang kayang maglagay ng pera sa maleta na ide-deliver sa kung sino? Ang hinahanap ko kasi, kung sabi niya nakasalba na ng pera ng bayan worth 58 billion. But how much is contained in all the maletas that we saw? 58 billion ba yun? Di ba isang maleta, ang sabi ng Marines, 30 million ang isa? Ilan yung maleta na yon? At saan na nakarating yon? So, I don't know how I can believe him kasi umpisa pa lang malabo na. And then he created the ICI, yung Infrastructure Committee on Investigation. What happened there? Nawala si Mayor Magalong, nawala si who's that lady, the commissioner from sino yun?
Yeah.
Co-commissioner ba yun?
Yeah.
Na lady. And then natira si Justice Andres Reyes. What happened there? So, nandyan pa si Justice Andres Reyes. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa defunct yung ICI. So, anong nangyayari ngayon sa ICI? And then, still on flood control, nag-investigate si Ping Lacson when he was chair of the Blue Ribbon Committee. Tapos, nagkagulo sila, hindi na natuloy, napalitan ni Senator Marcoleta, si Senator Ping Lacson, pero pinakulong naman nila si Marcoleta para hindi matuloy yung hearing ng Blue Ribbon Committee. So, where are we now? Doon sa flood control na yan. Baka akala nila nakakalimutan natin, that's the thing. Hindi natin makakalimutan yan because every time it rains, we all have the fear na baka bumaha. Lalo na ako, my parents are from Marikina. Every time lumalakas ang ulan, kinakabahan ako kasi baka bumaha sa bahay nila. Diba? So nasaan? Anong solusyon natin? Ano yung sinasabi niya na naisalba ang pera ng bayan? Marami nang nakulong, marami nang malawakang investigasyon, marami nang naipakulong, whether senators or whether mambabatas or tiwaling government personnel. So, ilan yon? Alam naman natin kung ilan yon eh. 'Di ba? It's maybe just a handful, but it's not even 10. It's not even the numbers, my fingers. It's not even, 'di ba?
You're talking about who's this 10? You're talking about
Mga kinulong, yung
Yeah.
mga kinulong at yung mga naparusahan na, meron na bang 10?
Yeah.
Yung mga the biggest culprits nga at gagawin pa nilang state witness, 'di ba? So what malawakang investigasyon are we talking about?
I think Ruth, what I saw with that SONA is a president, is a man who totally disrespects the Filipino people, and that I think that at this point this team of Marcos is just really on survival mode. So that I really think that they believe that 90% of success is just survival. So he stands there in front of the Filipino nation and he basically says bullshit, 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 more bullshit. I think that's his game plan. Because he said so much bullshit right there. If bullshit were water, they would have all drowned in Congress. Not a bad idea, no? Diba? Because, can I just say, dahil yung sinabi mo yung ICI, kasi a year ago, he said, mahiya naman kayo. Diba? He went like that, and then there's going to be a
Exactly 1 year
Yeah.
ago kasi from the
Exactly a
SONA,
year ago.
yeah, SONA this year. So that's
Yeah. And
Pero-
then, yeah. And then the ICI came out with the report that he didn't divulge, 'di ba? That the palace is hiding from the Filipino people, 'di ba? And I mean,
Need to remember Martin Romualdez was invited, pero in a closed door conference.
yeah.
It was not made
Yeah.
public.
Yeah.
Sandro Marcos was also invited, but
Hmm.
also in a closed door conference. Hindi natin alam kung anong pinag-usapan nila doon. Hindi natin alam kung anong nangyari doon sa if it was even an investigation.
And
'Diba?
the way,
O
and the way
nagkwentuhan pa sila doon sa loob.
Yeah, and during his SONA naman now, the way he said it, no, ipinaubaya na sa ombudsman as if that should make us happy. Because we all know that ombudsman was placed there, laws were bent beyond talagang inikot talaga to place him there, no. Somebody's not qualified to be ombudsman is there, and he's doing precisely what he was meant to do, no, which is cover up for all these plunderers in our government. You know, that's why it was so, I was trying to imagine kasi kahapon, no, while watching him, what the ordinary Filipino citizen might feel like, no, would be feeling that a lot of us believe that he's the plunderer, he's the mastermind, and then he's right there in Congress where almost all of them stole massively from the Filipino people, and they're all clapping for each other, applauding for each other, while us were suffering, 'di ba? And he's giving us all these assurances, like really, I suppose I should be happy that ipinaubaya mo na sa ombudsman na kung sino yung pinakukulong, 'di ba? Nakakahiya talaga itong administrasyon na ito. No?
Pinaubaya niya na sa ombudsman ang pag-imbestiga ng flood control. But let's not forget, the people, please do not forget, naging ombudsman the current ombudsman Remulla. Hindi ba? I don't know which month. Pero, nangyari tong flood control, mahiya naman kayo, July 2025. It's already July 2026. And just last week, there was news that says the ombudsman is starting to hold Martin Romualdez and Zaldico accountable by issuing an order for preliminary investigation. Ibig sabihin, 1 year later, nasa preliminary investigation pa lang kayo ni Martin Romualdez at ni Zaldico. Ano nangyari doon sa 11 months since the president said that?
Yeah.
Bakit ngayon on the 12th month kasi alam niyong magsusona na ulit at saka ka lang mag-i-issue ng preliminary investigation order?
You know, I've never seen such a cynical bunch of people talaga than the Marcos administration, that they could really just, you know, lie barefacedly to the Filipino people without any shame, and to actually think, you know, I don't think that they think that they're getting away with it. I think that they know that the Filipino people know that they're lying. Diba, that's more dangerous kasi we know that they're lying, 'di ba? We know that they're lying, and they know that we know that they're lying, and they know that we know that they know that we're lying, and yet they continue to lie. Right?
But they don't care. At the end of the
They
day,
don't care. Yeah, they don't care. So the message is, we're the ones in power. We can shit on all of you. Diba?
right. That's the sad thing there. They don't care. Also, preliminary investigation pa rin tayo hanggang ngayon.
What's preliminary investigation? How long kung walang kinikilingan, ano yung normal na time for that? Time frame?
Preliminary investigation, titingnan lang if there's probable cause for
So how long should that be?
for indictment ni Martin Romualdez or ni Zaldico. It can take forever. Kasi kung sila ang may hawak niyan, kung sila ang may authority to do that, it can take forever. We cannot say when they're going to finish the preliminary investigation.
But normally, how long should that take? It can short lang yan?
Kung mabilis talaga, because this is an urgent national concern, right?
Yeah.
In a month, baka less pa.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, meron ng indictment, meron ng information yan. The information will already be filed with the Sandigan Bayan, and then the Sandigan Bayan will do trial.
You know, kasi you said kanina, di ba, that it's sad that they're lying, we know that they're lying, and we know that they're lying, but still they lie to us, di ba? You said that's sad. But what's sadder to me is that we have not, the Filipino people, well, not everyone, no? A lot of us are already upset, but there are still some who are not enraged enough. Because for me, the ultimate solution is for Marcos to step down. He has very clearly shown he's not fit to lead, diba? So, why are we accepting all of this? Why are we accepting the persecution of his perceived political foes, diba? Why are we accepting the very obvious cover-up of Marcos, diba? By government? Yun ang sad sa akin. Yun ang pinaka-sad sa akin.
It has to be done for him to step down. He's not going to step down on his own.
Yeah, no.
Not.
Yeah.
Unless something drastic really happens, at saka lang yan siguro mapipilitan umalis. Pero
Ruth, can I ask something pa? Can I ask something, ha? Just to move forward lang. Kasi we only have, yesterday, he also claimed that this is right up your alley kasi about the rice subsidy. His claim was that he had given more than 12 billion Filipinos have already, just to prove daw that natotoo yung 20 pesos per kilo na rice. Tapos ang claim niya, more than 12 billion Filipinos have already gotten it, and that 26,000 metric tons have already been given to 2.5 million Filipino families, and then the plan is to give to 8 million. So, what is your comment about that? About the 20 peso price?
million more. Give to 8 million more. Kasi
No, that's the plan. 8 million families more. That's the plan.
million families more. Actually, the numbers itself, I do not believe na eh.
Yeah.
Hindi ako naniniwala dun sa numero kasi kahit saan ako pumunta, kahit saan akong lugar mapunta, at kahit sino ang makausap ko, tatanungin ko kung meron silang nakukuhang 20 pesos na bigas, wala naman.
Yeah.
So saang mga liblib na probinsya ba ito nakalagay? Bakit ganun kahirap? Is it so sparse that we cannot find it? Asan sila?
Yeah.
Unless hindi naman siguro drawing to, baka meron naman talagang nagbe-benefit na pailan-ilan, pero does it really reach 12 million? Pagka dinagdagan mo pa ng 8 million more families, that's 20 million families for 20 pesos na bigas. Nasaan yung 20 million families na yon? Ang poverty level natin, ang poor natin, hindi naman abot ng 20 million.
Also, I think I think subsidized ito na may targeted na beneficiaries, pero wala siyang minention na time frame. One time lang ba ito binigay? Or, di ba? So, hindi siya sustained.
Hindi
diba?
sustained.
So, nakakatakot para sa akin, Ruth, no, na presidente ka, kaya yung sinasabi mo na parang secretary's report, di ba? Presidente ka, pero ang nire-report mo sa Pilipino, parang college program, parang ganun ang corny di ba? Parang talaga, yan lang talaga kasi he talks about 20 million families, but there are 115 million Filipinos, di ba? So it's not a national program. You're just talking about a small percentage. What have you done given the vast powers and resources of government that were entrusted to you? You're telling us that you're only serving like this, di ba? Just this small number of Filipinos, di ba?
Details pati that he's been mentioning in the song.
Yeah.
Hindi naman pang presidente,
Yeah.
Hindi siya pang secretary, pang USEC na lang nga, pwede na lang i-report ng USEC yan eh. Hindi siya pang SONA, hindi dapat ang presidente because the president has too much on his head, too much on his plate, national security, global security, our relations with other countries, especially the US, Israel, Iraq, Ukraine, where we get our exports also, Russia. hindi na pang ganito na 20 pesos na bigas ang pag-uusapan natin. Hindi na.
He's very clearly a man who doesn't know what the presidency is. No, he doesn't bring weight to the office, right? So parang hindi niya alam yung scope. Kaya nga nagulat ako nung pag-upo niya, no, na nung naging agriculture secretary pa siya, 'di ba? Tapos ang narinig ko, kadiwa, yung pinagmamalak, kadiwa, diba? Kadiwa. Tapos ilan lang yun. Siyempre, nanggaling tayo kay President Duterte, diba? Kay PRRD, grabe. Yeah.
Kadiwa, kami ang gumagawa, the USEX, ASEX.
Yeah.
Presidente ang gumagawa ng kadiwa.
Yeah.
Diba? Inuutos na lang nga namin yun sa staff because they already know what to do. The president is not needed there because he has so much on his plate. He has so much to attend to. Hindi niya na kailangan magkadiwa. And then, so you'll see, we discussed the flood control scandal, diba? Kasi the SONA of the president, flood control scandal. I was just happy with what he said on power and electric reforms. He wants the APIRA law amended only on the systems loss that is always charged to the consumer. Ayaw niya nun. Yon, nag-standing ovation na naman ng mga tao. Ang daming standing ovations, pero itong standing ovation lang to na ako nabilib. Kasi kung talagang matatanggal niya yung systems loss that is always charged to the consumer, fine. But it will take an amendment of the APIRA law before it happens.
And you know what I think, no? You know what, Ruth? That is impossible. In the next 2 years, he's not going to be able to do it. That's a lot of bullshit. It's just something. That's one of those things nga that I said, you stand there in front of us and you're saying all this atrocious things. You're promising the moon and everything when we all know you just need to say something, diba? So that's one of those things that's just so incredible to me. It will never happen. I'm gonna bet my right arm it will never happen. No.
And he wants to send a rocket ship to space.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Diba?
So on tax relief and income exemptions, he wants to help cushion the impact of economic pressures and inflation. So he's proposing expanding income tax exemptions to cover workers earning 350,000 pesos. Kasi sa train law kasi, the first 250,000 income is exempt from law.
Yes.
Sa train law.
Sabi mo yun sa Tagalog, yung mga mahihirap na ang kanilang annual income ay ganon, para maintindihan.
Yung train law na ginawa ni PRRD during his time, ang isang empleyado na kumikita ng 250,000 pesos lang a year ay exempt from tax. So wala ka nang babayaran na tax. But of course, you'll have to get the certificate of exemption para ma-file mo naman rin yun sa records mo. Pag kumita ka ng 1 million pesos a year, ang babayaran mo lang ng tax is 750,000 because the first 250,000 is exempt. Hindi siya kasali. So, and so on and so forth. Ganon yun. Ngayon, ang gusto nilang gawin with an annual income of 350,000 or less, yun yung gusto nilang i-exempt naman from taxes. Kaya lang, some schools of thought would say na parang this is going to be a hike on the minimum wage. Kasi syempre may impact yan May impact yan sa minimum wage. So, ibig sabihin, itataas mo yung sweldo ng tao para lang ma-achieve yung 350,000 pesos para maging qualified. Na maging tax exempt. So, maraming kailangan pag-aaral ang gagawin dyan. And then, on infrastructure and transport milestones, BBM's administration nagbigay ng timeline naman siya for major transports. Natatawa nga ako kasi na-mention pa niya yung libreng sakay. Ang libreng sakay po ng Office of the President ay parang bagyo, bugso-bugso.
I know.
Kailan lang,
Hindi siya sustained.
hindi siya sustained. Kung kailan lang nila gustong ilabas or kung kailan lang nila maisip ilabas. I'll compare this lang to the libreng sakay ng Office of the Vice President that has begun in 2023, 2022, nag-umpisa August 2022, dire-diretso up to now. We have 10 buses going around the country. Hindi naman natin talaga makover lahat ng areas eh. So, dun lang sa major areas na mararaming tao talaga, libre talaga, wala talagang pamasahe na ibabayad ka. And it's every day, Monday to Friday, 5 a.m., 5 in the morning to 8 p.m. Every day. 5.
Tuloy-tuloy yung ano.
Yes, tuloy-tuloy yun. In one bus would have 2 routes in the morning, 2 routes in the afternoon. Kasi during lull period, walang pasahero eh. So, nagsa-stop sila. Morning lang and evening yun. Tuloy-tuloy yun. Every day. Whether may sakuna or wala. Pagka may sakuna, nag-e-extend si VP hanggang 12 o'clock midnight. Kasi marami pang sasakay, marami pang kailangan iuwi. Wala talagang bayad yon. And
Alam
it
mo-
has been sustained.
Alam mo Ruth, ganun kasi yung nakita natin kay PRRD. Tsaka sa Vice President, 'di ba, na yung kung bakit kayo nandyan sa mga pwesto na yan ay para pagsilbihan ninyo ang Pilipino. 'Di ba? So despite the huge cuts in the budget of the office of the vice president, yun yung na-appreciate ko kay VP no, tuloy-tuloy lang yung trabaho, 'di ba? Napakadami little bags. I mean, whatever budget that she's been given, no, she just makes do and she continues to serve, which is, I'm sad because we're grateful for it, 'di ba? Why should we be grateful for something that ought to be done, right? But still, because of mga nakaupo, mga nakapwesto na pakiramdam mo sila may-ari ng Pilipinas, ganun yung pakiramdam nila, 'di ba? So the Vice President tuloy stands out, 'di ba, in her humility and simplicity and the service for the people, 'di ba?
Yeah, true. Kaya nga eh. And then, so that's the libreng sakay. Ni
Yeah.
VP, di ba?
Everyday pala yun, no?
Oh, every day yon, Monday to Friday yung sa Office of the Vice President. Fuel crisis interventions. The President highlighted measures taken to manage global fuel crunch. May na-feel ba tayong na-alleviate ba? May na-alleviate ba sa atin na fear dyan sa fuel hike na yan because of the Iran-Israel-US war?
Yeah.
Iba pataas pa din naman ng pataas ang presyo ng crudo natin? Hindi naman siya bumaba.
Ay, eto na, Ruth, may tanong ako. Kasi bakit dito sa Japan, the prices in gasoline and all these gasoline products, hindi naman umakyat. Umakyat siya for 2 days nung nagsumabog yung yung war sa Iran. And then right away, it stabilized. So why is it that other countries, and it's the same for a lot of countries, di ba? So why is it we cannot do that?
Because our fuel has become deregulated. There was a law before deregulating the prices of fuel. Baka DOE needs to look into that, and then Congress will have to come in, i-propose ni DOE sa Congress na i-regulate ulit ang presyo ng fuel. Kasi by deregulation, you mean bahala na sila, the oil producers or the oil distributors, sila ang magpapresyo ng kanilang crudo, kanya-kanyang presyuhan yan. That's why you will see in the market, iba-iba ang presyo, merong mababa, may mataas, may mura, may mahal.
What do you think PRRD or a good president would do in a situation like this?
He would have imposed suggested retail price.
Yeah.
Lalagyan niya ng cap yung presyo ng crudo. Kung dito nangyari sa atin yung Iran-Israel US war.
So you mean to say the oil companies are just being greedy?
Maybe not exactly greedy, pero ang dami rin kasi nilang binabayaran. Remember, there are also government taxes that they have to pay. Marami rin siguro silang, I hate to say it, pero baka marami rin silang nilalagyan, marami silang binibigyan para hindi sila masyadong hulihan. Alam mo yon, it happens, and we know that. So, baka hindi straight payment naman yung kanilang taxes, hindi lang yon ang tinatax sa kanila, hindi lang rin, or kung alam man nila kung saan napupunta.
Okay. Okay.
And then because of yung sa speech ni BBM, has he addressed the paralysis of governance and the urgent needs of the people? Alin ba doon ang niya, ang sagot niya doon sa urgent needs natin? Parang wala naman akong nadinig bukod sa bigas, bukod sa transportation na may libreng sakay siya, bukod sa anong sabi niya? Minimum wage ng OFW ay pina-increase niya. By how much? We do not know.
Sweet.
Yung pension ng military personnel, pinataas niya. By how much? We do not know.
And it's not even true. I mean, he's really lying through his teeth because I get reports, di ba, because he promised that increase a long time ago. It hasn't happened. No, it hasn't happened. So
we don't know. We don't know. Kaya nga, hindi rin naman ako hook, line, and sinker. Diba? You take it hook, line, and sinker. Take it with a grain of salt na lang. Kasi yung SSS assistance for pension daw, that will increase also the pension of our workers. By how much? Kung tataasan. Diba? Kung itataasan siya. So, urgent needs of the people, inflation, unemployment is still very high. Wait, I have...
he hardly talked about the economy.
Not the economy. And then, unemployment. Ang taas ng unemployment natin,
Yeah, millions, di ba? Parang, how many nga, ilang porsyento yun? Basta almost, I don't know, they can't, I have it here.
Employment rate as of May 2026 is at 4.8%. Approximately 2.5 million Filipinos jobless. As of
How many? Ruth, say it again.
2.5 million Filipinos
2.5 million.
jobless.
Correct, yeah.
April 2026, unemployment rate went down by a bit, but to 4.7% from 4.8%. So we have 2.41 million Filipinos jobless.
Ruth, also, because this is his second to the last SONA, supposedly, diba? So I went back kasi to his first SONA, and then he promised a lot of things there, and none of them have come into fruition, no? For instance, the most to me was the budget modernization. Wala naman nangyari. In fact, ang nangyari pala sa budget modernization niya, yung allocations, yung mga underground na allocations, yung mga insertions, 'di ba? Yun yung nangyari. No, so parang kasi naalala ko KPRRD noon, lagi ko naririnig sa kanya, and I'm sure you heard it also. He would say, ito yung pinangako ko sa Pilipino, 'di ba? Dapat ito yung gagawin natin, and he really the one thing that he asked for an apology for was yung drugs na sinabi niya in 6 months mawawala, 'di ba? Na I'm sorry, hindi ko na yung pinangako ko hindi naging totoo kasi mas malalim pa pala yung problema natin, 'di ba? So sa madaling salita, as a president, no, as a leader of your country, you get voted by the promises that you gave the Filipino people, 'di ba? And the reason that his trust rating is abysmal is because we saw early on, he was just lying, 'di ba, for us to get our votes, 'di ba? From the vice president to the ganon, 'di ba? So, what do you think? I mean, can he still save this presidency?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Kasi he has 2 years na lang eh. He has 2 years na lang. So, I don't know.
So, so this is what this impeachment is all about, right? Did he talk about he didn't talk about the impeachment, no? But the Filipino people, there was a survey, and that's one of those things that they wanted to hear, and it's again one of those things to me that really, I don't know, amuse me, that he would say that he has nothing to do with the impeachment when we all know that he has Marcos senators in his pocket, 'di ba? Sila JV Ejercito, yan sina Sherwin Gatchalian, 'di ba? And we all know that the part of his game plan is to really take out the vice president, the strongest presidential candidate and the constitutional successor if anything happens, 'di ba? So yeah.
That's what he's been wanting to do. That's the ultimate goal, should I say?
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about all of this? Because during his SONA yesterday, he said that what was this? That he was going to go investigate the corruption, the flood control and everything. And then today, the DOJ filed cases against the 18 former soldiers and including Attorney Levy Baligod, diba? A day after. These are whistleblowers, no? So, but the thing is, the whistleblowers, through their personal testimonies, pointed all the way up to Malacanang, diba? So again, it's very clear that this entire government machinery is being used to protect him, diba? So I'm concerned about what the implications are for our country and what it is that we're going through 2028, no?
Well, the sincerity naman of what he says will be measured dyan sa mga sinasabi niya. Gusto niyang suplungin, talaga gusto niyang isolve ang crisis, gusto niyang isolve ang maleta, gusto niyang isolve ang flood control issues. Let's see.
Why are you saying let's see? He's the mastermind. Why are you still saying let's see? Let's see about what?
Kung anong magagawa niya, paano pa niya...
Diba sa law, parang, yung self-incrimination, hindi pwede yun, diba? So, of course, he's protecting himself. Because for me, there's no question anymore. No, there's no question anymore that Marcos is the mastermind. No, a lot of people have said it. I'm not the only one saying it, and I am of the same mind. No, and it's very, very clear that they're there to protect him. No, his team is there to protect him. So
clear. It is
yeah.
Clear. That's why Martin Romualdez does not come out kasi magsasalita si Martin, sasabihin niya kung sino at masasama yung anak niya, 'di ba?
I'll read to you what Martin said, and then I want you to tell me, okay, what you think about his response.
Yeah,
because go ahead.
That's why they want to silence the 18 Marines, 'di ba? Kasi po sila masyado. That's why they don't want Zaldico to come home.
Yeah.
Kasi masyado silang mabubuko na talaga. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So first, Bongbong Marcos says, during his SONA, masakit nun sa akin ito, ngunit kailangan nating gawin ang tama. Hindi ako pangulo ng aking pamilya, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And then Martin Romualdez responds, masakit man ito sa aming pamilya, iginagalang ko ang naging pahayag ng Pangulo, hindi ako kailanman humingi ng pabor o espesyal na pagtrato. What do you think?
Tawag mo doon, ano ba?
Diba?
Doon. Ano pang tawag mo doon sa hindi siya humingi ng special na pangtrato?
That's what he's saying. Hindi siya humihingi ng special treatment.
So, anong ginawa nung ICI? Na hindi...
But he's saying this in response to what Marcos said during the SONA. So, in other words, it's very different from his original, the first speech that he had, where he was saying that I'm not going to go down alone. I'm going to take everybody with me. So for me, that a response like that just bolsters the obvious fact, that the obvious thing that it's all just moro-moro with these idiots.
Ano yan, do you think we're going to see the light of day here sa flood control? Well, do you think, parang feeling ko nga, until Vice President Sara Duterte takes the lead,
Yeah.
hindi natin makikita ang justice kay Martin Romualdez, kay Zaldico, hindi natin malalaman kung ano talaga ang nangyari.
Yeah.
Sa mga tao na yan. Imagine our state witnesses, the Secretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways, the Undersecretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways. Sila yung mga may alam, 'di ba? Sa kanila dumaan lahat yun eh. Sila ang nag-approve, sila ang pumayag. Hindi naman siguro at gunpoint yun ginawa, 'di ba? Or nagpirma sila, hindi naman siguro sila tinutukan ng baril noon.
Yeah. Nag-benefit sila.
Yeah, all of them.
Si Amina Pangandaman na ano pa, naging president pa ng bangko. Diba?
Kaya nga, alam mo yung sinasabi ni BBM sa opening pa lang niya, yung when he talked about the ombudsman, ombudsman na ang bahala dahil mababawi natin ang pera ng taong bayan, ayaw nating mapunta sa bulsa ng mga tiwali. Nasa bulsa na nga ng mga tiwali, 'di ba? Wala na nga tayong makita, kaya nga wala ng pera wala ng pondo na panglinis ng panggawa ng flood control kasi wala na. And then uutang na lang tayo, that's our next recourse. We'll just borrow money again, 'di ba?
It's not our next recourse. He's already doing it, di ba? He's already, we're overspending. Who was it that said it? Lito Banayo said it. We're overspending, overtaxing, because there's overstealing, di ba?
And there's overstealing. Kaya we don't know. And there's this funny closing remark. I don't know if you heard it. He had a parang kinilabutan ako dun sa closing remark niya when he said, we are not greedy, something like we are not a greedy people.
We are not racists.
Gusto ko mahulog sa upuan ko.
Yeah.
Kasi kami sir hindi greedy, pero baka kayo greedy. At saka baka kayong mga tao dyan greedy.
Yeah.
We are respectful, sabi niya. We're a respectful people. If we're respectful, bakit natin pinadala yung 80 years old sa Hague? If we respect him, and he's former president, diba? We have the regular courts. If we are respectful, why didn't we respect the regular courts who can hear the case against PRRD? And then he said, we are dignified.
Oh my God.
Ano daw? Dignified, sir. Mag-hair follicle test muna tayo para maging dignified talaga, para sigurado ang tao na...
Could he please wipe his nose before he goes out? No? Because the cocaine residue is all around there, and his gums are bleeding from all this cocaine that he's doing, diba? And pwede ba dignified? Pwede ba wag kang mag-cocaine habang andyan ka sa harap ng Pilipino? Nagsusnort siya bago siya humarap dyan sa mga ganyan, no? So you're talking about dignity. You know what? It's really, I can always go back kasi to the fact, no, that we know that he has a substance abuse disorder. Because that speech kasi of him, while I was listening to him, no, not only was he not in touch with the Filipino people, but he didn't seem to be in touch with reality anymore. And a substance abuse disorder affects all your cognitive functionings, no, your perception, your judgment, your impulse control, etc. Diba? So he really thought that he was getting away with it. No, this is a man. Yeah, go ahead, Ruth.
That explains the stuttering when he speaks.
Yeah,
when he says, baka. Diba when he speaks, ang rami niyang he stutters.
Yes.
He
Yes.
couldn't complete his thought. Na hindi
Yes.
niya masabi. And then there's this one last thing na I think this is the only thing he said that is true. He said, "We do not yield."
Correct. At least may isa siyang honest na sinabi.
Yan lang.
We're gonna cling on.
Man here is, I think, if I got it correctly, the context is for the West Philippine Sea. Now, we do not yield. Pero, given that we are not greedy, we're disrespectful, we're dignified, and we do not yield, oo naman sir, you really do not yield.
Yeah. Minus 27, ano? Tapos hindi siya nag-yield, and it's become very clear that he has no capacity to lead, no? Pero I think, Ruth, no, a person like that kasi is sent to our lives as a nation. It's a test to us, no? I think that we cannot resilience. I guess our courage, no, and our unity as a people. Kasi ano, no?
Our metal? To test our metal?
I guess, I don't know. I think, you know, what has happened to us as a nation, no, because of this man, no? This man, his wife, his children, the people he surrounded himself with, ought to really plunge us, the entire country, into some serious soul searching, no? Why is it that we have right in front of us the most powerful man supposedly in our country? No, but I don't agree with that he's not anymore the most powerful, but the ones right there, no? But he's lying to us barefacedly, diba? What did we do to deserve that, diba? So I think these are questions that and then why is it that he continues to sit there? We all know, because he's being propped up by the United States, diba? And much to the destruction of our country, no? Yeah.
But what's going to happen? Trump is now trashing the ICC, right? But our administration still stands firm that we believe in the ICC and that we still put our trust in the ICC. And in fact, we're even considering becoming a member again. So how does that sit with the US? How does that sit with President Trump?
You know what, Ruth? You and I have worked with PRRD. Diba? So if I say this, no, you're going to know what I'm talking about. PRRD is a magician. Things happen around him that are wow, right? No, so I think that I originally said this years ago that PRRD will be the cause of his being there will really destroy the ICC as it ought to, no? Because they've shown very clearly what they are. They are a tool, no? A political tool, no? So I don't know, Ruth, no? Pero yung SONA na yan kasi, no? Ang dami niyang hindi sinabi. Parang sinabi mo nung una, parang report lang ng kung sino-sino, hindi report ng presidente. At saka yung ang SONA kasi, di ba, nung time ni PRRD, we had 3 pre-SONAs and 1 SONA. Prior to the SONA, we had 3 pre-SONAs because it wasn't enough. 1 SONA wasn't enough to tell the Filipino people what it is that PRRD had accomplished, di ba? It wasn't enough. And even though we had 3 pre-SONAs and 1 SONA, kulang pa din. Kulang pa din talaga. Kasi it was my office that was in charge of vetting talaga kung gaano kadami. So we had our deadlines, etc., di ba? Pero hanggang sa last minute, could you please include this? Sabihin, hindi talaga enough. No, pero ito, anong nagawa niya para sa Pilipino? I was watching that parang horror talaga, watching it, the worst.
The details were included there, even if they were not fit for a president na, just able to say something, para lang niya.
Parang filler lang, di ba?
Naging fillers na lang yung report ng undersecretary.
At saka parang marami doon sa sinabi niya, yung mga tupad, AIX, blah 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 na yon, ginawa lang niya in the last how many days or weeks prior to the SONA. Para lang mema sabi lang.
Tsaka wala nga bago eh. May bago ba? May bago bang program from
Yung
the
space.
station?
Yung space. Yung rocket.
Ship. He'll send a rocket ship to space. Oh.
Oh my gosh! Grabe, no? Grabe talaga. No? So, really,
You're thinking what I'm thinking, sana nga.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we've run out of time, Ruth. No, there's so many things pa that we need to talk about.
There's still so much kasi the basic education na lang that I've been wanting to discuss, the breakdown of basic education in the country, and then the consumer requirements, the consumers' urgent needs that need to be addressed by the government. Yan, matagal ko nang kailangan i-discuss talaga yan.
Very briefly, like
So, huh?
10 more minutes. Sige nga, what? 5 more minutes. Sige nga, what?
They have, this administration was able to build 21,441 classrooms from July 2022 to July 2026. 21,000 classrooms. Gaano kadami yun,
Yeah,
Dami ng estudyante natin. Ilan ang estudyante natin? Ilang milyon? Ang natayo natin, 21,000 classrooms lang. Kaya marami pa rin nasa puno kaya marami pa rin tumutulay sa alambre para makapasok sa eskwela
You know, under PRRD, he built over 150,000 new classrooms. And then that's not even including the ones that were built under the NTF-ELCAC. Marami yun. Ang dami nun, thousands upon thousands, no? And this one, 21,000. So, if it's 150,000, let's say, 150,000 even, for 6 years, how many is that per year? I'm bad with math.
107,000?
150.
Divided by 6. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Divided by 6 is around 25,000. Tama? 25,000. Hindi pa pa yun, wala pa nga yung doon wala pa doon yung NTF-ELCAC ng hundreds of thousands. Ay, kulang pa pala yun. I'm sorry.
1,000.
I'm sorry. Okay, KPRRD, 150,149 new classrooms. Tapos 103,548 classrooms that were repaired and rehabilitated. Tapos over almost 15,000 technical vocational laboratories. Tapos 588 gabaldon, yung heritage na schools, were restored. And this is not even including like I said, the ELCAC. And there was one year, was it last year, when the Marcos administration only built 25 classrooms?
Ito, 51,441 classrooms that are newly built from July 2022 to July 2026. 21,000 not even 22 Classroom repair, how much is your classroom repair? 100,000 something?
Repaired, almost 104,000.
This is 14,350.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then last mile schools programs, 908 classrooms completed across 257 sites.
Yikes. Okay, so when was this? 22 classrooms in 2025. 22, dude.
Yeah, I remember. Sino yon yung DPWH personnel was asked by Vince Dizon, remember, in a hearing? Yeah. So 257 school sites.
You know what it means? Okay, you know what it means? Kasi umakyat ako ng bundok maraming beses, di ba? Ikaw din, no? Ang ibig sabihin nun, yung mga batang katutubo, no? they're going to walk kilometers upon kilometers kasi kulang na kulang, wala silang classroom doon sa tribo nila.
That's right.
Yung mga nandun yung pinakamahihirap, ang underserved talaga. So that makes them vulnerable to the CPP, NPA, NDF. So apart from extreme poverty, meron pang terorismo sa buhay nila, nasisirain talaga yung buhay nila, yung mga anak nila, at saka sila magiging NPA, mamamatay sila, etc., etc. Diba? So, yun ang implications ng ganyang klaseng president, no? Kung president pa ba matatawag mo dyan, no?
Really, it's really sad kasi priority yan eh. Di ba,
Yeah.
education is top priority anywhere in the world.
Yeah. And even with our constitution, 'di ba, dapat yung pinakamalaking budget is education.
Yes. Should be the Department of Education. Kaso, di ba, nalulusutan tayo.
Yeah.
Yung DPWH kesa sa DepEd.
Yeah. Very cynical talaga, or they'll make it seem like it's DepEd that got the biggest cut, pero eventually pag natapos na, they'll also get the insertion, so that really it's a DPWH that gets the most because that's where they can steal the most. And so far, it's only DPWH that we're talking about. We still haven't spoken about the corruption and the insertions at the DOH, at the other departments, di ba? And itong mga naririnig natin sa customs, sa etc., di ba, na meron talagang hinahatid na mga maleta din, no?
Still on classrooms. The national deficit for the country is at 150,000 to 166,000 classrooms.
Grabe.
National deficit. But the administration's target for 2026 under the 2026 GAA is to build 24,000 to 25,000 additional classrooms. That's only what? 25,000 o 150, ilang percent lang yun nun?
Grabe.
Like 8%
Yeah.
ng 150,000. Yun lang yung gagawa niya.
We've run out of time, Ruth, but we'll continue our conversation. So, thank you so much, Ruth. We had a very sana ay na-inform kayo ni Attorney Ruth Castelo. At maraming salamat, Ruth. Maybe you want to say goodbye to our mga kababayan na nakinig sa atin. No?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Lorraine, of course, for inviting me here. And there is still so much, ang dami pa nating kailangan pag-usapan kung ano yung hindi natin nakukuha sa gobyerno. Education, classroom pa lang yung pinag-usapan natin ngayon. Sa SONA, parang wala naman tayo talagang masyadong makukuha, but it does not change the fact na sobrang dami pa rin nating kailangan na makuha sa gobyerno at hindi natin malalaman yan kung hindi pag-uusapan. So, I look forward to the next episode, Dr. Lorraine Badoy, so that we can discuss some more the country's priority needs, the country's urgent needs that really need to be addressed.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Ruth. No, kaya namin ito ginagawa kasi ang galing ng isang bansa ay nanggagaling at saka yung lakas ng isang bansa ay nanggagaling sa kanyang mga mamamayan at yung mga mamamayan na yan ay dapat informed. So, tayo ang pag-asa ng ating bayan at ginagawa natin ito para sa mga anak natin at para sa salinlahing Pilipino. So, magkaisa tayo at ipaglaban natin ang ating bansa. So, thank you.